right, so welcome to another episode of Between Two Cards. This is Otterbine's opportunity to reach out to our alumni and catch up and see how everybody's doing and get everybody back in touch. So today with me is Bobby Wright, and Bobby played baseball here a few years ago, and we're going to take a moment to catch up. So Bobby, what are you doing now? What are you doing nowadays?
Yeah, I work with a roofing sustainability company now. We actually save asphalt roofs from being replaced for a much lesser of a cost, and we keep shingles out of landfills and ultimately save the environment. We save customers a lot of money.
That's good. That's great. Are you working now?
I am. Yeah. I actually not a lot has changed as far as my day to day. I still take the same long trek up the stairs to my home office. Usually don't hit traffic, but sometimes I step on a Lego or two. But that's all remained the same. So yeah, I'm working. I'm actually probably working more than I did before, the changes in COVID and all that.
Wow. And then you kind of alluded to that there, but and for anyone that doesn't know, you're married to Monica, our volleyball coach, and you guys have two boys at home right now. I was really, really lucky that going through all this, my kids are taking care of themselves, being 15 and 20 years old. How are you doing with two boys at home?
It's good. It's interesting. It's great to watch them. I mean, the two of them have become best buddies. 4 years old and 2 years old, best buddies, and it's been cool to watch. The creativity that has come from this for sure. But they're doing fantastic.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. So one of the things that we've been trying to do with this series is ask people, how did Otterbein and your education, Otterbein, your years there, make an impact on you and how you're doing now?
Wow. I mean, I'd say that I'm an interesting case because I've never really left Otterbein, whether it be a player, a coach, and now a spouse of the volleyball program, to which I'm thankful that Monica allows me to still scratch my itch and have a level of involvement, even if it's a shoulder or an ear to for her to speak to and give feedback. So but a lot of takeaways from Otterbein. The biggest takeaway I would say would be the relationships that I formed there that are still existing and thriving today. And a lot of my closest, dearest friends came from baseball, obviously. And I feel like Otterbein is one of those schools, and Westerville is one of those towns that if you aren't from here and you go to school to Otterbein, a high percentage of people want to live here. And I'm one of those people, and I can say that for a lot of the people that I've built relationships with, a lot of those folks live within 2-3 miles from me, and they felt the same way. So the relationships that have been built from this, I mean, these guys on the baseball team, we were in each other's wedding. We still talk. Our kids call them uncle and aunt, and we've become a big family, and that all started at Otterbein.
I remember watching you play. You guys had some great teams while you were there. Do you have a favorite moment, something that stood out to you?
Yeah, gosh, a lot of them. Actually, I have the chills right now. Every time I think about this, I think about the 2005 OAC championship down at Marietta, where it was my sophomore year, but we had an unbelievable freshman class. We had great leadership in our upperclassmen, and it was just kind of the perfect recipe for a great year. And, obviously George laid the groundwork, and at the time, Dan Hagley, Joe Wilkins,
Wow.
For a Division III baseball, Dave Ewing, you can match up that staff with Division I staffs. You really can. We had a lot of good things happen, but we ended up winning that game and going on. And unfortunately, our season was stopped. But that game, I will never forget. And I probably remember almost every pitch of that game. And, there was a moment where, it was probably in the third or fourth inning where I was on deck. I just remember a big caravan of our fans showed up, and you could hear them. They approached the field, the venue from the right side. We were, at that time in the tournament, we were in the home dugout, so we could see them. And you just see this large group of people, and they're all singing and yelling and talking to the Marietta bullpen, and I have the chills right now just thinking about, the lift that gave us if we even needed one. I mean, we were invincible from the moment those guys arrived, and I'll just never forget that game. Yeah, it's very special. I mean, you still see that nowadays too. The level of support that teams have for one another. I mean, that's, and the relationships that are formed from that. I mean, gosh, that's a big memory of mine too. It's just a relationship with women's soccer, women's basketball, the football team. It's more relationships that are still going on.
Yeah, that's the way I've always felt about it. So that's why it's so many people that work at Otterbein were students at Otterbein and that kind of stuff. People don't want to leave, so that's great. Well, that's it. And I just thank you so much for doing this and taking the time. And these have been going really well. It's been great to catch up with people, and it's so nice to hear that you guys are doing well over there. And like I said, tell Monica and the boys that I said hi, and we wish you guys the best. So
yeah, absolutely, man. Glad to have built a relationship with you and your family too. I know that I think we've even hired your daughter as a babysitter, and we probably will going forward. But it's because of Otterbein that we know each other, and I appreciate that too.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you again so much, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And just remember, if you have an idea for future guests, that you can send that to career@otterbein.edu. And thanks for joining us on Between Two Cards.
Yeah, good to be here. Take care.
You too.